Danny T.
What's up, my boy? King Sports 1.
King.
You know what to hear first.
Sports.
You know we cover every turf.
One.
The best broadcast presenter. Danny T, the best broadcast presenter.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to King Sports 1, once again powered by King's Castle. Now, we have to start this week off on a somber note, people. We've lost two great sporting icons this week. Number one is Maury Walker. Maury Walker, one of the best commentators ever to do it, ever in motorsport. This guy has been transcending the sport for little under 7 decades. This guy is something special. He was someone that you could look up to. He did great things in the motorsports world. He made my childhood something memorable. Every time Michael Schumacher would win a race in F1, he was always that man behind the mic that said, and Michael Schumacher and the Ferrari. Well, Damon Hill won his one and only title in 1996 in F1. He was so happy because another British guy had done something spectacular. Now, Maury Walker, we love you. You will not be remembered as anything other than an icon in everybody's eyes. Rest in peace, my brother. Our thoughts and prayers are with your family. Now, for our second icon that has passed away, the great, marvelous Marvin Hagler. Now, marvelous Marvin Hagler is somebody that I only heard stories about because his career was finished by the time that I got into boxing. Now, I'm a boxing historian, so of course I've seen a lot of great fights that he's had. This man never backed down. This man never said no. This man led forward with his head. This man did everything in the sport that sometimes acted like that they didn't want him in. He wasn't ever the golden boy. Now, in his generation, you had people like Sugar Ray Leonard. You had Iron Fist, Roberto Duran. You had guys like Thomas Hitman Hearns, and you also had marvelous Marvin Hagler, who stood head and shoulders above all of that. He changed those rivalries into dominance because even though he lost in his last fight to Sugar Ray Leonard, he didn't feel he lost. And he just stepped away from boxing because of the politics of it. And he never ever once changed his mind. This man was a smart guy. He never came back to fight because he always had his pocket straight. That's what I'm trying to do, have my pocket straight. You know what I'm saying? Your man is a pioneer. Your man is a revolutionary. He led the fight on the Fab Four in the 1980s. Because in boxing, when you transition from a great champion such as somebody like Muhammad Ali, it often goes to the lighter weights to take up the mantle. That's how people become famous. Like in the 80s, as I said, it was the Fab Four. You had Duran, you had Hagler, you had Hearns, and you had other people too, like Iran Barkley. Jesus, I'm forgetting about these guys. You had guys like Benitez, these guys that added such a great aura to sport and boxing that hadn't been seen before and will never be seen again. So one thing about Hagler, he was a man of principle. He stood on his word and people leaned on him for his word. He was taken advantage of a few times, but he did it the right way. One thing about him, he was never ever the people's favorite because he wasn't the gold medal winner like Sugar Ray Leonard. He had to grind his way to the top. He had to grind his way to the top from Bronxton, Boston, Massachusetts. He had to do what he had to do to win. So my brother, 66 years old, feel like we're losing you too soon. You've done everything the correct way, and I pray that people remember you as the greatest middleweight ever because you deserve that title. You have done so many great things for boxing, and we here at King's Sports 1 and here at King's Castle salute you, my brother, because you've done great things. And I'm with you, and our thoughts and prayers are with your family. Peace. Now, to talk about a great legend such as Marvelous Marvin Hagler in the sport of boxing, we will lead right into the show. So, AJ Anthony Joshua is fighting Tyson Fury. They have finally signed a deal. It has been years in the making. Everybody wants to know who the top dog in the heavyweight division is. One thing about AJ that I like, he looks good. He definitely has all the girls saying, "Oh my God, AJ, I want a piece of you." Now, one thing about AJ, he definitely has the charisma. He definitely has the look. But one thing about Tyson Fury, he has the gift of gab. And this man absolutely mauled Deontay Wilder to take that WBC belt from him. Now, this will be the first fight in history of boxing, where all four major titles will be on the line. All four recognized titles will be on the line in the heavyweight division. You have Tyson Fury, the WBC heavyweight champion of the world. You have AJ Anthony Joshua, the WBA, the IBF, and the WBO heavyweight champion of the world. The stage cannot be any grander to get somebody that everybody knows is the legit baddest man on the planet. We haven't had that in a long time. Now, there has to be one. There can only be one. Now, the thing that really gets me, I know they put their names on the dotted line and everybody's looking forward to it, as am I, but the date hasn't been set, venue hasn't been set, nobody knows who's getting the lion's share of the purse, which is a big problem, and nobody knows what's actually going on. Now, we just know that they both put their names on a dotted piece of paper, which is absolutely great, but I need to know. I need facts. I need things to look forward to in this COVID-ridden world. I need something to know exactly. I need to know what's going on so I know and I can tell the people, because I'm looking forward to it just as much as you. You got King versus King. There's no pun intended. You got Anthony Joshua and you got Tyson Fury. Great boxers in their own right, only one loss between them. They are definitely the pinnacle of the boxing world right now, and I know I want to see it, and I hope you want to see it too. So let's get it on. Let's do it, in the words of Mills Lane. Now, transitioning away from boxing, in the NFL, we had a young man that just retired from the game after 20 seasons, Drew Brees. Drew Brees, one of the greatest passers of the football ever to grace the NFL, has retired from the NFL after 20 seasons. Now, can you believe it? Can you believe it? 20 seasons in the NFL? I've seen guys get brain damage after 5 seasons in the NFL. This guy is balling out. He did everything right, and he took care of his body. And he also tried to get over that finish line. Tried to make sure that he solidified his legacy in that game against Tom Brady this year in the playoffs. But my brother, you already solidified your legacy. You already solidified it, brother, man. You did everything that you had to do to win, and when you didn't win, you lost with grace, and you lost with poise, and you made sure that you set an example for all of your younger teammates. So, Drew Brees, I salute you, brother. Here's to another 20 years and whatever it is that you're going to do in the future. You are one of King Sports 1 favorite. Good job. Now, in the EPL this week, Chelsea and Leeds fought to a 0-0 draw. Thomas, you're not too cool this week. You didn't show too much strength in going forward. It was an entertaining game, but I can tell that you were more worried about not conceding than you were of actually scoring a goal. So, Chelsea, you got to do better than that. And we'll transition to Manchester United. Manchester United faced West Ham, who you know is a favorite of mine here on this channel, because West Ham have absolutely been balling out. They got Lingard from Manchester United on loan, so unfortunately he wasn't able to play in this game. Now, it was a very tough, rugged affair, a top 4 type of fight. between both of these teams. I was very upset that Lingard wasn't able to play because he is really a driving force in that midfield for West Ham. So it's one of those things where when I look at Manchester United and I look at West Ham, I see so much potential in both of these teams. Now, the game was decided by an own goal by Craig Dawson. That hurt my feelings because I wanted it to be a spectacular play like a Martial or somebody like that. Now I know he didn't play, or somebody to step up like Rashford or Declan Rice, people that have been hailed, young great British players that could have stole the show. Nobody really stole the show. United got the 3 points. They won 1-0 due to an own goal, and it is what it is. I understand it, but at the same time, you guys definitely can do better. It was a good fought match, but let's make sure we stay on top of our games, because if we're on top of our games, then I'll be on top of my game. You get me? Okay, folks, so game of the week. Did you hear that there was a North London derby? Now, I always get excited about a North London derby because it was Arsenal, the Gunners, versus Tottenham Hotspurs. Now, both teams haven't really been so hot, and they ain't really been shooting, if you get what I'm saying. You know, we had 7th place in the table versus 10th place in the table. But Arsenal put their foot on the gas, and they came at it. Spurs have been dominating this fixture lately. This has been walk in the park for Spurs lately because of what Arsenal have been up to. Now, Arsenal showed grit, they showed determination, especially after Mikel Arteta made sure that they were a little less better than what they normally are, because Pierre Aubameyang, their captain, was benched before the game started. Now, he was benched due to being late for the game. Now, we've seen that when he used to play in Germany for Borussia Dortmund, where he used to get fines and he used to be reprimanded for things that he did wrong. So it was a very bold move by Mikel Arteta to show a lot of people that he has the cojones, he has the balls, he has the brass to do what is best for the team. And Emile Smith-Rowe definitely stepped in and did what he had to do to make sure that Arsenal made sure they got to a victory. So Arsenal, they were dominating everything. Spurs, they got a lucky goal. They got a rebound from Eric Lamela. Now, this is not the first time he's got a rebound against a team. Now, it was an insane goal. It was filthy. People didn't understand what was going on. I didn't understand what was going on. I was like, well, maybe it was a foul, but there was no foul. It was clean, and it was through a defender's legs. It was nuts. You get what I'm saying? But it's one of those things where Arsenal came back. They kept their heads up. Odegaard scored. They got a very questionable penalty, but at the same time, the way that they were playing, they actually deserved to win the game anyway, and Lacazette absolutely smashed that in. So it's one of those things where congratulations to Arsenal. The Gunners, I don't get to talk great about you. I don't. I'm surprised. This is a new week for you. Hopefully the start of a new beginning for you. So Gunners, I'm very happy for you. Aubameyang, sort your act out. And also Lamela, come on, bro. How do you score a goal after coming on as a substitute for an injured player and then get sent off? You let your team down, bro. You let the city down. Tottenham and the North London derby. That's what you did. You're gonna have to live with that, bro. I mean, I always think to myself, how have you been playing 250 games for Tottenham? How have you been there 7 years and haven't been moved on? I don't consider you world class. You do things world class, but you're not world class, brother, man. You gotta step it up. You gotta do what you gotta do. You gotta make sure that you're consistent. You gotta remain vertical for the people to see you. Otherwise, it'll be horizontal. You know what that means? Flat on your back. So step it up next time. Make sure you stay on your field so your team has a chance to win. That's all I gotta say about that. So my start of the week for this week is definitely going to Marvelous Marvin Hagler, posthumously. He is a great boxer, one of the longest reigning middleweight champions of all time. I can't not make him my stud of the week because this guy invented what a stud was. He was the baddest man on the planet before there was a baddest man on the planet. This guy had it all, he knew it all, and he left everything in the ring where it belongs. So, Marvelous Marvin, I salute you. Now, my dud of the week. This isn't a hard one. Eric LaMelo. You score a beautiful goal, you do everything right, you get your team ahead, and then you get yourself a silly red card. Eric LaMelo, come on. If you want the people to love you, you score in the North London derby, bro. But if you want the people to hate you, you get sent off in the North London derby, bro. And you clutch your team to match. Like, if that's not a dud, I don't know what is. I always want to be a stud. I would never want to be a dud like what you are right now because maybe my life wouldn't turn out as great as I think it's gonna turn out. I would never want to be a dud. So please, get your act together. Make sure that people know what you're all about. Because after 250 games for Tottenham, bro, you haven't showed me what you're all about. So make sure you do that. Because I want to talk good things about you. And that's all I gotta say about that. But, did you hear? Here locally, it's been a lot of controversy going on right here on our small island of Bermuda. Now, the paper read that COVID cancels the football schedule. This is something that is very near and dear to my heart as I used to play football in England and I also used to referee in Bermuda, the Bermudian League and different things like that, Corona League, things like that. So it's one of those things where when I hear about football being canceled, I think about those clubs not getting the money, the revenue that it takes for a club to run because nobody can come to see a game. It breaks my heart. It breaks my heart to know that in Bermuda, other things can take place. I won't mention any other sports that are taking place from overseas things, but other sports could take place. But in Bermuda, we have this way about us where in the government right now, we do not have somebody that is representative of what sports does for young people in this island. Sports is an avenue for young people to showcase their talent. Sports is a way for people to express themselves. Sports is a way for people to stay out of trouble. Now, you know what they say about those idle hands? You know what they say? That was tools, brother, man. So if you want things to get back to normal, give the people their fields back. Give the people what they want. Now, a house with nobody in it, it's just a house. A house with a mom, a dad, children, it's a home. Get what I'm saying? Now, a field with no players on it and nobody to cheer them, it's just a blade of grass. It's a patch of grass. Nobody wants to look at grass. I mean, it's green. It's lovely. I like the color green. And the money's green. But I would rather look at people expressing themselves and doing amazing things. I would rather look at people doing what they want to do with their future. I would rather look at people having a dream to accomplish something in this world. Now, my favorite grime rapper as I was growing up was Dizzy Rascal. And he used to have a saying, he had a song where, if you don't have a dream, how you gonna have a dream come true? You can't have a dream come true if you don't have a dream. So please, the powers that be, hear me out. We need football to start. We need the BFA to get rolling again because that's what people look for. That's what people spend their hard-earned money on, and that's how our economy stays clicking. People spend money on drinks. People spend money on food in Bermuda. That's what we do. And I would appreciate if you took the time to realize exactly how important it is to the rest of us. Because it's no joke. It's no joke right now. We can say that COVID canceled it, but COVID hasn't canceled anything. We can practice social distancing out there. We can do that. we can make sure that we're doing what we have to do for Bermuda to win. And right now, I feel like we're stunting Bermuda's growth because we're not giving the people what they want. Now, I'm not an advocate for saying we shouldn't wear masks and all that type of stuff, but it's one of those type of things where let the kids play. Let the people play. Let them play. If you let them play, then maybe we can party all day. And that's real talk. But I would like to thank everybody for listening to me here on King's Sports 1, powered by King's Castle. If you would, please go like, share, and subscribe on our YouTube channel, King Sports 1, and also like, share, and subscribe on my Instagram channel, King Sports 1, at King Sports 1. I love you, baby, and I hope you love me too. I know your man's looking at me, but at the same time, I wish him the best because he is a hero just like I am. But I
King
digress
Sports 1.
for well and ado.
King
You know what I hear first.
Sports
You know we cover every turf.
1.
The best broadcast presenter. Danny T, the best broadcast presenter.